What's up, y'all? So I decided to take a different approach than what I've been doing. I've been starting with color first, and I wanted to show that there isn't just a one approach that you just do the exact same thing every time. That you gotta be flexible. You gotta learn different methods. You gotta learn different techniques. You gotta learn different skill sets. So if you're ever in a situation where things are not working, that you don't just get locked into, this is the only way I can approach it. So I'm just gonna keep banging my head up against the wall until I figure out how to get it work. So this time I'm starting out with the black acrylic. And again, if you remember from other videos, I start with the black acrylic because if I paint back into it, I don't have to worry about any smudging, which is primarily why I don't use any inks. And this is just a simple round brush, nothing fancy. Most of this hair work and all of this initial drawing is done with the same brush. And it mostly is practicing a lot of control. And in many ways, I mean, this stuff really requires you just to not be really fussy. I know some people, they get really particular about, oh goodness, I'm gonna make a mistake, I'm not gonna make perfect lines. And I'm sure there's some lines that aren't perfect in there, but you know, that's again, like, for a lot of these, that's not the approach or the idea is to be very particular, very afraid. So I'm just gonna come in here and model some form. A lot of this is burnt sienna, and then even in the hair, that's burnt sienna with a little bit of black in it because my palette is fairly limited with this watercolor. Want to go in there and put some golds, just really try to pop the lips and the eyes to kind of make like some eyeliner. Do some sort of green eyes, try to bring down the intensity of the green. I was gonna go with just this direct from the green palette, but I decided to pull it down a little bit. And one of my favorite things to do is, you know, if I have a little bit of yellow in there, I usually try to go for the complement. So the shadows are kind of a violet. I felt like it added a little bit of richness to it. And then I go back in there, you know what I'm about to talk about. You know what I'm about to talk about. The reflected light. And that's a staple. You know, there was a time where I didn't put it in, and a lot of time the color felt really flat and uninteresting, or sometimes stuff just all kind of merged together. And so that's a very common staple. And then I put a little highlight around there, or just a little white edge around it to separate the face from the hair. And again, part of your process is the experiment. See what works, see what doesn't work. And that's what a lot of these little paintings are. A lot of these little paintings are about figuring out what works and what doesn't work, what's good, what isn't good. So later when you have something serious you gotta do, that you can approach it with an intensity, you can approach it with fun, and now you're not afraid that things can go wrong, because that's when you discover great things, is in those mistakes. So thank you for checking this out, and stay tuned.